What's going on? We back once again, and one of the stories that kind of went under the radar, especially the last couple of days, because of the announcement of Triple G and Canelo, and some of the other announcements coming out with Khan, was the fact that Carl Frampton is still pleading and begging with Leo Santa Cruz to give him a rematch and come to Belfast. Now, Carl Frampton, in my opinion, made a mistake, giving Leo Santa Cruz a rematch in LA. And in my opinion, he fought like he knew that he fought stupid. He knew like he didn't have really a chance in the rematch. He was going for a knockout, swinging for the fences. He didn't use it as picking up from round number 13. He used it as a completely new fight, round one, when he should have kept doing what he was doing in the first fight. I think Frampton is the better fighter from a skills position. Santa Cruz, he ain't nothing special, but he fought with discipline in the rematch. Just kept his jab, and I think he was ready to make adjustments, but he didn't need to because Frampton really reached and really just was swinging for the fences for whatever reason it was. He went into the rematch acting like he knew that he needed a knockout, and that was the wrong game plan. But, he did, Santa Cruz a solace by giving him a rematch in LA, I believe it was. And now Santa Cruz don't want to do right by him and give him a rematch in Belfast. And I could have told him that. He should never came back and gave him a rematch. I don't know if it was a rematch clause or not, but he shouldn't have gave him a rematch clause in L.A. Everybody knows in America that Santa Cruz is one of the most, protected fighters, and he's a ducker. And Frampton is as well. Frampton, Quigg, Mares, and Santa Cruz all moved up to avoid Rigondeaux for years. And that's part of the reason why Rigondeaux felt the need to, to reach and try to go for Lomachenko. But, Santa Cruz took it to a whole nother level. And not only did they all duck Santa Cruz, they all ducking Gary Russell. People say, well, Gary Russell, he ain't fighting. He only fighting once a year. But he's been calling these guys out for unification bouts. He's been knocking on the door like Rigondeaux has. And it has been no answer from none of those guys. But at the end of the day, who wants to see Santa Cruz versus Mares again? That's a pointless fight. And the featherweight division is one of the more underrated divisions when you come to talk about talent. When you talk about ducking each other, that's Duck City right there. That's the duck capital of boxing right now. None of them guys really want to mix it up. You see Santa Cruz is talking about he needed a tune-up before he had a rematch with Mars. Like, what do you need a tune-up for Mars for? Understand Mars is kind of back to his old ways and kind of reinvigorated by Robert Garcia in boxing at the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. At the end of the day, it's the guy you already beat. So, what do you need a tune-up for? And Showtime turned down that card that fell on Fox. And for whatever reason, Santa Cruz is being, he's being upheld and lifted as the king of 126 pounds. When I think of several fighters there that's more talented than him, and Lee Selby, Carl Frampton, Gary Russell. I think Oscar Valdez is eventually going to be more talented than him. But, at the end of the day, how hard it is to just get this dude his trilogy rematch. He's ducking Frampton. Frampton did right by him. And if I'm anybody else looking at Santa Cruz right now, he's one of those guys that get a pass maybe because he's not at a glamour division. He's at a small weight class. But at the end of the day, man, he's the king of ducking, man. And for him not to want to get his dude a rubber match, his trilogy fight, and come to Belfast and fight him when he came to L.A. and fought you in your background, your backyard is just, it's crazy, man. And people, blatantly defend this guy for his duck acts and his magical magician tricks of being a punk and being a ducker. And I've been saying this for years, and it's nothing changed. It ain't like he gonna grow up here overnight. That's why they call him son of Al Heyman. Al Heyman treats Leo Santa Cruz better than any fighter that he's handled outside of Floyd Mayweather. And he's orchestrated his career the right way. He's avoided all danger. He's a dude that I done seen for a construction worker, ice cream truck worker, part-time boxers, and struggle. This dude, he's never dominated the competition, in my opinion. To me, I don't see it, man. For me, people talking about weight bully. This guy's been weight bullying for years, and that's what it's predicated on, him being bigger and longer than the rest of the guys, but he can't punch. I done watched numerous of fights where this guy go 10, 12 rounds with guys and don't even hurt him. Like I said, I don't see the supreme talent in Santa Cruz, but at the end of the day, I think he should do right by Frampton and give him that rubber match, even if it's not in Belfast. Give him the fight in somewhere on the East Coast of New York or whatever it may be. But he's a dude that's protected, man, and Frampton, maybe have to move on from that fight and just just walk away with a 1-1 split with the guy and continue to move on with your career and try to get the best guys in the ring in your division. I mean, Selby is a big fight he's been calling for. I mean, obviously none of them want to go to Gary Russell's backyard for whatever reason it is. You know, so these guys don't want to unify. They want to unify with Santa Cruz and Frampton and Mars. They want to keep that love triangle going. They can keep it going, but at the end of the day, it's a talented division, but it's going to be a lost division because of the lack of competitors in the division, the lack of activity, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. We gone.